Hey guys, Deathy here. Today I've got a new style of video for you guys, an Ivy guide. I don't play Ivy, and therefore I requested Catgirl to help me with this guide. If you guys don't know Catgirl, she's one of the most popular Ivy players in the game right now, and she's probably the player with the most Ivy games right now, around 700. In this guide, I'll first cover the basic abilities of Ivy, so all of the abilities and the upgrades. Then I'll go over Ivy's strengths and weaknesses. Then we'll talk a little bit about Ivy's playstyle. Then we'll talk about the different skill build options. And finally, we'll finish it off with itemization. Enjoy. Ivy's first ability is Kutsu Bomb. It summons a patch of choking vines that damages and slows enemies in its radius. The different upgrades for this ability are +1 charges, +2 second duration, and +60 DPS. Ivy's second ability is called Watcher's Covenant. You gain bonuses, and you're automatically connected with a nearby ally to share them. Healing is replicated among all those connected. Connection requires line of sight. So if you go near a target, that's an ally, and you press 2, then you can lock onto that target, and you'll be sharing the bonuses with them. Watcher's Covenant upgrades are +10% fire rate, +2 meters per second movement bonus, and +1 tether count. Ivy's third ability is Stone Form. Turn yourself into impervious stone and smash into the ground, stunning and damaging nearby enemies. It also heals you. You have some air control before falling. Here's what that looks like. As you can see, you can move around while in the air. If I disable cooldown, I can go forward and then go back with the stone. The upgrades include -20 second cooldown, +80 damage and an additional 0.5 seconds on the stun, and +20% max heal. Ivy's ultimate ability is called Airdrop. Take flight with an ally or a bomb. Drop your ally or bomb to cause a large explosion that causes movement slow. Ivy and ally gain a bullet shield when flying ends. While lifted, your ally gains bullet resist but cannot attack and deals -50% damage. Airdrop has faster cast time when targeting an ally. This ability can be used to pick up any ally. For example, if I go here, pick up this ally, and then I can fly. Let's move on to the interview with Catgirl, where we'll go over the strengths and weaknesses, the playstyle, the skill build, and the itemization.
Hi, I'm Catgirl. I've been playing Deadlock since May 22nd, somewhere around there. So I've been playing for about 3 months by now. I have about 700 games on Ivy, and I guess I'm pretty affiliated with like high MMR discords and pugs and stuff like that. I have a team. We got second in the tournament, and yeah, I'm pretty decent at the game.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about Ivy's strengths and weaknesses. So what do you think are Ivy's like biggest strengths in general as a hero?
Okay, so Ivy, she's basically a speed demon, move speed maxer. She's hyper mobile. When she gets 2 points in her 2, she gets a +2 movement speed buff for her and an ally. So as a result, you can kind of just start to run people down once you get your skills. Her strengths are really, she's great at split pushing. She's great at, like I said, running away just in case you need to. But also she has a really nice stun that can interrupt. It's really good for mid-boss. And yeah, she also gets free fleet foot, so she can move while firing at full speed. And she has 4 stamina for some reason. All good stuff.
Right. Talking about the fleet foot, is that something that she gets by default, or does she need to invest some ability points?
She gets it by default. So from the beginning of the game, minute 1, whenever she shoots, she does not get a movement penalty.
Okay. That's great to know. Thank you. And what about some of the weaknesses or some of the things that Ivy is not as good at?
Okay, I am pretty convinced that Ivy is the worst laner in the entire game. So in my opinion, she's really good at surviving, because when she presses her 3 early on, she'll basically get an extra 60 HP every time on a 20-second cooldown. And, you know, she gets invincible. So it's really hard to kill her, especially if she gets a health nova for her allies. But her kill power is non-existent. The only way I ever get kills early is if my teammate hands them to me on a silver platter, or if I get a parry off. That's basically the only time.
Okay. Other than the laning, though, once you get out of the laning stage, any things that Ivy struggles with a little bit more?
Honestly, not really. Oh, she has no poke game. So if, for example, if you take a support character like Kelvin, he can chuck a ice bomb at you for 500 damage. If you take a support like Viscus, he can also throw a goo ball at you for 400 damage or whatever. And Ivy doesn't really have any of that. She is very close range in that regard. Her best poke is airdrop, and that's ultimate on a 100-second cooldown or 80-second cooldown. So yeah, she doesn't have
Right.
any ways of actually poking anybody. She is very.
Thank you for that. And how do you feel about Ivy's current place in like the meta game in terms of people love knowing how good a character is or tier lists or whatever. How strong do you think Ivy is right now?
Oh, I think she's either A or S tier. She's always either A or S tier, basically.
Right.
And the reasons for that is she's very, very versatile. You can go a tank build where you just soak up all this damage and you heal it back up, depending on your team. Like if your team needs a frontliner, she's more than happy to frontline. But also, when you're climbing MMR, like you're trying to get better and you're with complete randoms that you don't trust, she actually has a very, very good DPS build as well. She outputs a shit ton of damage once she gets the right items and skills
Right.
and stuff.
Yeah, speaking of those builds, for everybody, if you want to find the builds, you have two builds, right? You have the DPS Ivy build and the support build in game.
Yeah, over the months I've been playing, I actually made like 4, 5, 6 builds, but recently they condensed them down, or they made the change where you can actually search for builds and you have the
Right.
descriptions and all that stuff. And when that happened, I decided, hey, I can cut out these two builds. So I have a DPS build which currently has 70,000 likes, and then I have a support build which actually has 20,000 likes right now. They're number 1 and 2 on the public
Yeah.
browse. Yeah.
Right. Okay. And is there, if people have questions about these builds, is there any place that they can reach you, or do you do that kind of stuff?
Yeah, sure. So if you go to the Deadlock Discord, if you go to the Ivy's Bodega, it's in guides. I'm always there answering Ivy questions for people, and I also have the Catgirl's Ivy guide. You can ask me questions. I have the Catgirl's Advanced guide or Intermediate guide. You can ask me, or you can just even add me in the Deadlock chat, and I usually answer them.
All right, perfect. Moving on to Ivy's playstyle a little bit. So we already touched on a couple points talking about what Ivy's good at. So what is your like general playstyle in terms of Ivy? Like, are you split pushing a lot? What do you do in team fights? All that kind of stuff.
Okay, so early on, before you really have any items, she's kind of like a melee frontline stun bot. Because like I said, early on, she doesn't have the items to do really any damage. She has no poke or abilities that help her do that damage. So really, you're just soaking damage for the team, getting people out with airdrop, throwing bombs on people with airdrop, that sort of thing. As a result of that, early on, I like to split push a lot and avoid team fights. Because I think, like I said before, she's very weak early on. She doesn't really do anything.
Right.
Once you kind of get your items online, she is a speed demon. Like if you ever seen a warden with a Veil Walker running at 500 miles per hour, she's that person, except with her and an ally. So I usually start off the game by split pushing and avoiding team fights. I'll participate in ganks, especially if I can sneak up behind them and get a 3 off. But it's mostly split pushing early on, and once I get my items, then it's go time. We start ganking them really fast and furious, and that's usually how we win. We get a gank off, we mid boss, kill the objectives.
Right. And in terms of ganking, are you usually using your ultimate for that?
It depends on. So the problem with using your ultimate is usually if you throw your ally, they don't really appreciate it. There's really a limited amount of people you can throw in the game that won't get mad at you.
Right.
Like if you pick up a Grey Talon, they will flame you and be like, "What the fuck are you doing?" But you have to only really pick up Abrams and Shiv and characters like that who are happy to get in the front line. So for the most part, I usually just say, "Let's push this walker." We gank the 2 people there, and then we push the walker. And we get out. We want to avoid a fight because, like I mentioned, Ivy has no poke. So if they start throwing Geist bombs at us from the walker, you have to retreat. You can't really do anything about that.
Mm-hmm. Anything else that you think people should know about Ivy's playstyle in general?
Yeah, so a really, really big part of Ivy's kit is that she gets free fleet foot and 4 stamina. And as a result of that, I think the way you carry on her and just do damage in general it's basically completely revolves around sliding right now. So last patch, we had a build where she would rush Siphon Bullets and then, build move speed and stuff. And she was just straight up the best carry in the game. But since then, they've buffed Haze and, they made Ivy slightly slower. So in my builds, I put a very large emphasis on move speed. And why move speed is good is because once you have enough move speed, you don't have to dash in order to slide. And
really?
sliding in this game gives you infinite ammo. And Ivy has the fastest shooting gun in the entire game. So as a result of that, if you have the right items, even though your mag size is 50, you can output, 300 bullets, 400 bullets at a very, very fast fire rate. And it's while moving at, 15 movement speed. So it's like a super synergy package where you're sliding everywhere, so you're hard to hit. You're outputting a bajillion burst damage and healing your team. And, if they ever go on you, you can just stone form it. It's very good.
Right, so you're basically just a moving high DPS who's extremely hard to deal with, and you're also providing a lot of utility to your team at the same time with movement speed and heals and a lifesteal.
Yeah, but the thing that makes her special is you get free fleet foot, so you slide. I cannot emphasize enough how much Ivies need to slide. Like, if you think you're sliding enough, you're not sliding enough. You need to slide more.
Right, and what are the specific item combinations that you need to get the slide? Is there like, once you get these two items, you can just start sliding around?
Yeah, actually there is. So early on, once you get Heroic Aura, Enduring Speed, and level 2 Tether, you can slide while you have Tether up. So that's like 15 seconds of basically infinite ammo. Okay?
Yeah.
Once you get more money, I usually pick up some survival items in between this. I like to get Vampiric Burst, and this is on my DPS build, by the way. My support build's a little different. I like to pick up Vampiric Burst because it gives you 2 move speed by default, like as a passive stat. And once you get that, you can slide from without tether, just straight up slide whenever you want without tether, So you don't need any actives. You can just slide around the map whenever you want.
Right.
And then after that, you can build more survivability like Soul Rebirth or Unstoppable or Metal Skin or something, and then Curse, and you do whatever you want. But I like to build up to that Heroic Aura, Enduring Speed, and then Vampiric Burst combination on my DPS IV.
Perfect. Let's talk a little bit about the skill build. So before we started recording, I was talking to you and being like, is there any other skill build? And you seem very convinced that there is only one skill build for Ivy at the moment. So can you go a little bit over the skill build and why you really think that's the only one right now?
Okay, so I've actually done tons of experimenting with Ivy. I've tried AP Caster Ivy, I've tried this Ivy, that, I've Punch Ivy, everything. And I'm pretty sure that there are very clear defined like super points that you really, really want to put into them. So there's like a set order of things that you really, really want, and then things that are just okay, but not good enough. So my skill builds always start with 3-3-3. You max Stone Form. So what that does is Stone Form by default heals you for 10%. When you max it, it gives you an extra 20% heal. So that means every 20 seconds, you have a 30% heal. You don't have to hit anybody. You don't have to do anything. You just press 3, and then you get a 30% heal. This is absurd. It means you never have to go back to the fountain if you don't want to. Like, the only time I ever really go to the fountain is if Pocket afflicts me and I'm, fuck Pocket. After that, you really, really want the move speed on your tether. The move speed will make you faster, which means, you're better at fighting people, you're better at attacking, you're better at running away. It makes it so you can catch up to people. It gives it to your allies, too. It's just very, very good in general. Yeah, so the move speed on the tether is probably the second most important thing. It just makes you so fast, helps you split push. It helps you slide, like I said, and gets you online with that. Super good.
Right.
After that, I like to max airdrop. 4.5 second silence is pretty fucking absurd. I was contemplating buying a refresher and making that a 9 second with improved duration, so 12 second, but I haven't gotten around to it. That's in the tank for now.
Right.
And then after that, I get the last point in tether. +1 tether count is always nice, but it's not mandatory. It's nice because sometimes you just don't have any teammates around you. It's just nice to have. And after that, you're super late game, so who really cares about Kuzu? I hate Kuzu Bomb. I think it's an awful ability. So then I max that last.
Right, so you just max it because you don't have anything else to put points into at that point.
Yep, basically, yeah.
Right. Okay, and do you foresee any other skill build? Like, what would it take to change the skill build order?
So I think if Ivy had Kusu Bomb changed so that you know how in Bebop ults you get slowed, so like your dashes get slowed
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Hmm.
I think if Kusu Bomb had that, then maybe I could see a world where I change the skill build because that would be really strong. You know, get one under or two
Yeah.
duration, one charge, 60 more DPS. They're in a swamp, they can't move. You know, that sounds pretty
Like a
good.
slowing hex effect as well. Just slows your
Yeah.
stamina.
But as it is right now, you don't really need move speed that early on because you don't really do damage because, you know, you don't have any items. So
Hmm.
that's out of the gate. You don't really want air bomb because it's on an 80-second cooldown. It's kind of unreliable. You usually have the time to get away anyways.
Yeah.
And Kuzu bomb is just super unreliable. I've seen people have like 5 charges of Kuzu or 4, and they throw it at an Abrams that's charging them, and they literally do like 50 damage to the Abrams. It's just atrocious.
Hmm. Yeah.
So as a result, I just max stone form. I get the move speed, max air bomb, finish tether, and then put my points into Kuzu.
All right, so basically for the skill build to change, there would need to be either some significant stone form nerfs or Kudzu bomb changes.
Yeah, that sounds correct.
Yeah.
I completely agree with that.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit about the item build. So I think we're going to focus. I want to go over mostly your DPS build because clearly with the likes or whatever, that's what people are more interested in. I think we can cover the support build as well, but I think, we can go over the main differences. But I'd like to just go over like the laning stage first and talk about the laning items and see why you get those and like kind of what your playstyle should be with the different item stages, if that makes sense.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so with my DPS build, I have it so you can just literally buy it left to right. Okay, so I have basic magazine, close quarters, extra health, sprint boots, active reload, and ammo scavenger as my first 6. Some caveats is if you're laning against like a Bebop or a Vindicta or someone like that, you can buy reactive barrier. That's always a good item to make them hate their lives. You can, if you're fighting against someone that really just wants to shove the lane and then shoot you in the head, like for example, Warden, if he's using his grenade on creeps, or a 7 that presses 3 and then tries to just shove your lane in, you can buy monster rounds. And Health Nova is just always a nice pickup on Ivy because when you tether someone and you use your Health Nova, it will basically heal you to full early game, no matter what. But really,
Hmm.
you just buy left to right. You can skip it and buy sprint boots early on if you're ganking a lane a lot or double soaking a lot. Otherwise, just buy left to right. So we start off with basic magazine and close quarters. The reason for that is Ivy's gun sucks and she needs more damage. So these two are basically the best 500 damage items in the game for her. I give you 50% more damage, right?
Hmm.
After that, I pick up extra health because, extra health is super good early on. It'll basically give you 200, 300 HP. So it makes you a lot harder to kill, especially with stone form. Then sprint boots for, being able to move around and not hate your life. Then active reload because her gun size or her mag size is very low, so it's always helpful. And then ammo scavenger because my build has a lot of optional purple slots, and this is just a good value item. Even if you're not looking at the passive, like the when you kill things, it gives you 15% ammo, 60 health. That's good enough for me. Most of the time when I play her laning, I'll do basic mag, and sometimes I'll go into health nova, and then I'll just finish it left to right.
Right. And once you're out of the laning stage, you've got here the mid to late game as well as the optional section. So how do you know, like, do you start always with the mid to late game items?
Optional is so let's say you really want to gank Wraith, for example,
Yeah.
because you're split pushing, then you pick up a slowing hex. Just standard
Hmm.
stuff. Like those are all just
Right.
active items that are just really, really good.
Hmm.
And I wouldn't say they're core to the build because what if they don't have a Wraith and you're not ganking? What if you're just farming your lane? You don't need a slowing hex. What if they don't have a pocket? You don't need a debuff remover.
Yeah.
It's just those are just high value items that will help you at this stage of the game because active items are really, really good right now. If you highlight all of the items, I have a description. For example, like if you highlight Decay, it'll say it's for Mo/Abrams. It just does about 30% max health, and it procs bullet resist shredder. So I do have description on when those optional items are good, but they're by no means mandatory. They're just really good optionals.
Right. And then for the mid to late game items, it's once again left to right order. So you rush Heroic Aura when you can, then Enduring Speed, Intensifying Mag, and then all the other items.
So I rush Heroic Aura first because, one, it gives you bullet lifesteal and move speed, and you need bullet lifesteal and move speed anyways. And two, I actually tested out the damage, and it's actually surprisingly good damage, especially if you have teammates. It becomes like the best 3K in the game. It's very, very overtuned right now. This is a very, very strong item.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised not as many people are buying it. It is very strong on a lot of heroes, not just Ivy.
Yep. Second up, Enduring Speed. So that completes your move speed combo. Okay, so you have your tether by then. You'll have your Heroic Aura move speed and Enduring move speed. You can slide from tether now whenever you want. No dash is needed.
Yep.
So after that, I have Intensifying Magazine. This isn't actually 100% necessary. You can skip it, but this by far is the best 3K damage item in the game right now. Like, it will give you the most damage for value, especially if you're sliding around like an idiot, making your 50 mag size by now into like, 200, 300. It's absurdly good right now for DPS.
It also just got buffed.
It also just got buffed, you're right. So especially with active reload, it doesn't really, it keeps some of the damage.
You're able to maintain the stacks easier, yeah.
Yep. After that, these three items are survivability items because you can't get away with having only orange bar and high MMR. You usually just die. So,
Right.
I have my healing booster. I actually used to have bullet lifesteal here. I replaced it with healing booster because Heroic Aura has bullet lifesteal on it. So, this is basically it basically replaces it, but it also buffs your 3. It also negates anti-heal. It's just a really nice item to have. And, your bullet armor, spirit armor, because we're not going Veilwalker, but we do need to survive.
Yeah.
Once you get that, I have Vampiric Burst. This adds a decent amount of damage. It's not the best 6,000, but it's decent. The main thing is it gives you your move speed. Like I mentioned before, once you have this, you can slide, even without tether, whenever you want, wherever you want. It's very good.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you finish your armors off because you're a squishy carry. Squishy's in quotations.
Yeah. All right, thank you for that. One question that I have related to the end game is a lot of people who've been watching my videos, they'll send me replays or I'll look at their games, and very often, as you've probably experienced, 3 months ago, when people don't know how to play the game yet, the games always last 40, 45, sometimes 50 minutes, right? What do you recommend out of these items in order to really be able to solo carry those games when they get to that point?
So I think once you get to the end game items, I always really want to make sure that I am the raid boss. I cannot die and I still do a lot of damage. So as a result, usually when I get to this stage, my first item is either Unstoppable, Soul Rebirth, or Curse. I just want to be able to kill people and make sure, the Ivy died. Now we can 5-man the rest of her really bad team that she's carrying, and then we win the game. I want to avoid that situation. If I don't die, we win the fight at this point. Okay?
Yeah.
So I highly recommend you do something like Inhibitor, Soul Rebirth, or Unstoppable, and then you can pick up a Crippling or a Lucky Shot or a Silencer. You can get more damage. You can finish off your Point Blank / Titanic Magazine. You can do those stuff. But I think you try to become unkillable, and you should really be unkillable with this amount of lifesteal and move speed. And, resist. And then once you get your Soul Rebirth, for example, you can get Crippling and then Lucky Shot if it makes you kill faster. It doesn't matter. You're good.
Right. So basically just prioritize not being too greedy and just making it so you really can't die, and then you can get a little bit more damage if necessary.
Yeah, because honestly, it's a nightmare to see a enemy carry also have a gigantic green bar because it's okay, we have to invest 3 people into killing this crazy Ivy that's running around killing people.
Right. Okay. Well, thank you for that as far as the items. Quickly going over the support build. I don't know if we'll go over every single item, but what are the main differences in the support build?
Okay, so my support build, I have it so you can get active a lot faster. So I want to make it so you can run in, you can frontline for your team. Like if you have a team and you have like a group of 5 people pushing a walker and one person split pushing, I want you to be able to participate in the 5 people without being dead weight.
Hmm.
So that was my goal with this build. So this build has a bunch of like supportive items. So for example, we start with resto shot, sprint boots, spirit strike. So these are just really good items for one, you get like a lot of tankiness, it makes your punches stronger, that sort of thing. And it gives you a lot of sustain. I always pick up Health Nova with this build, always.
Okay. And I see you've got quite a lot of text in that build anyway, so people can go ahead and read that at the bottom with the idea behind the build, etc. I guess the last question I would have is, if you're playing optimally, which do you think is better, support Ivy or carry Ivy?
I think that 100% depends on your team comp.
Right.
That's one of the things I like about Ivy the most is she can basically do anything you want her to besides throw Duvons. That spells is trash. So if you look at your team and you don't have a Shiv, you don't have an Abrams, you don't have anyone that actually wants to frontline, you have a Vindicta, Grey Talon, and everyone's crying because they're going to get ran at, support is definitely the way to go. She can frontline very well. But, if you have an Abrams, you have a Dynamo, for example, then hey, if you max your gun, you can shred people, and you already have a front line. You don't need two. I mean, you can have two. You don't need it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Another thing to consider is when do you actually want to win the game. So if the enemy has, for example, the hyper late game comp, they have Seven, they have Haze, they have Wraith, you have all these characters that will outscale you if you give them time. I lean towards support Ivy on that as well because she can just run at people early on and, you can win the game in 15, 20 minutes pretty easily with the support build.
Right. So it's more just about looking at your team comp, their timings, as well as, the different heroes you synergize with and seeing which is better. And I guess which is easier to play? Like if there's new players that are trying to get into Ivy, which build do you recommend they start with?
This is a hard thing to answer because the support Ivy has a bunch of active items, and then the DPS Ivy is completely revolving around sliding, which newbies don't do.
Mm-hmm.
I would, if you're a newbie, I would say you should probably go my DPS build and start to try to start sliding because sliding is so strong in this game. It is a pivotal part of her kit. You're going to be bad at it. I personally did not slide for the first 200 hours of playing. I thought it was useless. Yeah, it's common sense of it, but it is so strong. And like you just start by doing it against the Guardian, slide down the stairs. Then you start doing it against mid boss because free fleet foot, she can just do it. And then do objectives, and then you slowly work it into your shooting people while sliding. It's a lot harder than you think, but like I said, it's so strong and it's so fun when you can actually do it.
Right. And I guess one tip that I could add to that is like practicing anything, you're going to be, it's going to make your gameplay feel worse at first, but just like force yourself to slide all the time. And then a week later, you're not even going to be thinking about it anymore.
I would 90% agree with that. Honestly, it's really easy to just do it against objectives. That feels good.
That's true.
From the get-go. Yeah, but against people, I 100% agree. It will make you feel like shit. You're going to be like, how do I slide in this situation? But once you get it down, it's just so good. It feels so good. You just like, you slide at someone basically, and they die, and you still have a full magazine. I'm not even kidding. It'll be full.
Right. And I feel like sliding in lane as Ivy is also somewhat important because like early on you do so little damage to creeps and your mag is so small that if you're not sliding at all, you're going to have trouble like killing some creeps sometimes.
Yeah, you do want to slide against creeps. Like you'll dash slide or you'll slide on the stairs, but you don't have the items to really support it. You don't have the move speed from your tether, so it's a lot more limited. But it is good because if you mag dump a creep on Ivy at level 1, you'll have like 2 shots left in your mag. It's really bad.
It's sad. It's sad. Sad times for Ivy players.
Oh yeah, I have had people stand on the bridge and just shoot me, and I unload my mag on them and do like, I just constantly just keep shooting them. This actually happened yesterday. I look at their items; they don't even have extra regen at all, and they're at full HP. And I'm just constantly shooting them on the bridge, doing like no damage. It's miserable. I hate her early game.
All right. Well, thanks a lot for your insights. Is there anything else you'd like to add? Anything you'd want to shout out? Anything like that?
No, I just really need to emphasize how fun sliding is and how much you need to integrate that into your gameplay.
All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys would like to see more collaboration content, please leave a like, subscribe, and comment below who you'd like me to collab with. I've got a couple ideas right now, namely for Vindicta and Bebop, but if you guys have other content creators or just high-level players that you'd like me to collaborate with, feel free to put them in the comments. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.